In this video, we're gonna be talking about Christmas books that are actually good, and these are the books that I absolutely know you'll love. Like, truly, you will love them. These are Christmas books that I still recommend, I still really enjoyed, and I've read a lot of Christmas books. I also feel like it's just hard to find good Christmas books because, I don't know, every Christmas book does not have to be like cutesy, but then you do want the cutesy ones too. Like, I feel like there's a mix of Christmas books, and this stack is definitely that. I have some books that are no spice, some books that are really spicy. I have some books that are more like introspective and heartfelt and deep. So you're gonna get a lot of book recs. This is the video you guys have been absolutely like begging for. And I also have some books that I didn't really care for, as well as some books that are on my holiday TBR. So there are lots of books that you guys are gonna really enjoy, and let's just get into it because there are a ton to go through. The first book, and the book that I think is probably my favorite Christmas book of all time, and that's saying a lot because I've read a lot of Christmas books, is The Holly Dates by Brittany Cherry. Now, this book does have a new cover. I really love this book so much. It's about a girl who wants to have a boyfriend for the holiday season, which I feel like you see that trope a lot in Christmas books, and I feel like it's done so well in this one. She wants to have a boyfriend, and so she decides that she's gonna go on a bunch of dates before the holiday season so that she can have a boyfriend to bring home to her family. Now, she ends up going to the same restaurant all the time to go on these dates, and while she's there, she ends up meeting the restaurant owner, and he's like, you know what, I could actually do you one better. I can find you a good guy. So they kind of go on this adventure to find someone for her to be with, and the whole book is just so funny. It's so good. Like, you just get to see a well-rounded book, and I feel like it's really fun, and it's also, I feel like, the perfect length. It's 265 pages. Another book which is probably a close second is In a Holidays by Christina Lauren. This is an author duo that I absolutely love. They've written the book Love in Other Words, which is one of my favorite romance books that I read every single year. This book is a story that kind of does like the whole Groundhog Day trope. If you've seen that before and you've read it, I feel like you'll really love it in this book. It's about a girl who has this day that's like not really the best, and in this book she's kind of trying to choose between two different guys, but she has this day that's like not the best, and then the next day she wakes up and it's that same day over again. So you're going through this holiday season the same day over and over again, trying to figure out like, why is this happening? Like, why is she going through this day? What does she need to do to get out of this loop? It's such a good book. And this one, again, is one of those that I feel like you could definitely read during the holiday season, but you can also read it like after, because it just is a really good story in itself as a standalone. And I feel like there's some Christmas books where it's like, okay, you can read that around the holiday season and no other time. And then there's books like this that are just genuinely good books, and I feel like this book is like that as well. This is about 304 pages, so a good length for that one. Now, if you're wanting to read something that's heartfelt, definitely pick up this book. This is one of those books that you cannot go into expecting a cutesy read. These characters go through really, really hard things, and I feel like the author of this book really knows how to do that. It's a story about a girl who fell in love with this guy, and after they had feelings for each other, something pulled them apart. She ends up getting married, and 15 years later ends up going back to the hometown where she like met this guy, and she's like divorced. I feel like the holiday season is really hard for some, and Christmas books don't really encapsulate that. They just kind of like brush over how hard it can be during the holiday season and just make it all like fun and fluffy and cutesy in books. And this book really shines light on how the past can really like show its ugly head during the holiday season, and how sometimes it's hard to work through and navigate all those things and feelings that you kind of have pushed to the side. And yeah, do not go into this book expecting a lighthearted book. It definitely has like its funny parts, but it is very, very heartfelt and deep. So don't let the cover fool you. Another book that actually came out a while ago, and I think it has a new cover right now, is Window Shopping by Tessa Bailey. This book is super, super spicy. Also, as I'm sharing book recs here, every other book that I'm sharing for the most part is a diverse book rec. So I just love sharing book recs by Black authors, or by just authors that I feel like don't get the hype that they so deserve, like indie authors, small authors that you're not going to see in Barnes & Noble. So every other book that I'm sharing is a book like that. So this book is a book by a Black author. This is a book you'll probably find in Barnes & Noble. And then this is a book by a Black author as well. So, and kind of this whole stack goes through that line, just because I don't want you to just get books that are like super popular or books that you're going to find at every single Barnes & Noble. I want you guys to get other recs that you're not going to see everywhere. Now, this book is by Tessa Bailey, and this is the author who wrote It Happened One Summer. And this book is spicy. It's about a girl who is like kind of down on her luck, and she ends up seeing this like window display, and she walks up and is looking at it, and this guy's like, what do you think of the display? And she's like, actually, it's terrible. Like, this is the worst window display I've ever seen. Come to find out that he's actually the one who created the display. He actually asked her if she could do better, and she's like, yeah, I actually can. I'm really good at this. So he hires her to create a better window Christmas display. And the reason why I can tell the stories of all of these books so far is because I genuinely love them and remembered them. I think that I read this book like 4 years ago and I still remember it and I loved it. And this was one of those Christmas books that even though there was a lot of spice, there was still very much a really good plot that was driving the story. And yeah, so they end up kind of having this thing where it's like, ooh, I kind of have feelings for you, but you're also my boss. You hired me. I need this job because I'm down on my luck. Like, I can't survive without it. So they're keeping their feelings at bay, and that's the story in this book. Another book that has a similar premise is Merry Inkmas. It's also a very spicy read. It's about a girl who works for this tattoo artist. He's grumpy. He just like doesn't really like Christmas, and she ends up working for him and starts to have feelings for him. And it's one of those things where it's like, he's the boss. You can't do that. Like, everyone around you at the shop is like, wait, hold on. Are you giving this person special privileges? Like, it's one of those books. Again, it is very spicy, so know that going into it. But I do really like that this book had a different type of storyline. I feel like a lot of Christmassy books are cutesy and fluffy and, you know, have like pink covers. And this is more like gritty, and he's grumpy, and they have some things that they're like working through internally. I really love that. Now, if you're wanting a book that's not really in the romance genre, but gives all the Christmassy vibes, and it also does have a romance in it, you should read One Day in December. Now, I love this book. There are some people who did not love this book, and I'll tell you the reason why. I feel like you will love this book if you're someone who reads contemporary fiction. If you're going into this story expecting to follow the characters' lives and not necessarily follow the romance, if that makes sense, these characters they're a mess. Like, they're a mess because life is messy. It's about this girl who she saw this guy and she's like, I think that this is the guy I'm supposed to be with. Come to find out, this guy is her best friend's boyfriend. And I'm pretty sure that's the premise of the story. And yeah, her feelings, she kind of has to push them down because she realizes that this guy is like dating her best friend. And even though she saw him on this train or bus or whatever, she's like, okay, we can't make this work, like, obviously, and it's not meant to be. But you see their friendship over 10 years build and blossom. You also see things change over time and then move and all the things. And I love a story that's told over a long period of time. I think this is told literally over 10 years. I really loved it. Again, go into this story expecting to come across characters that feel like real people, like that make really bad decisions sometimes, but also are just like very human. And it definitely reads like contemporary fiction, which is what it is. Like, if you look for this book at Barnes, you will find it in the fiction section. Another book that I really loved is Christmas in Spite of You. This is about a girl who is down on her luck and she's not really like making a ton of money, so she ends up deciding to put her house up for like Airbnb, what's it called? For rent. And yeah, so she's gonna put it up for rent while she goes and visits her family during the holiday season. And she ends up getting sick. So she's like, well, dang, I can't go and visit my family when I'm just like so down bad, so I'm gonna have to stay home in my house. Well, she did not realize that the person who had wanted to stay at her house had already booked and paid for everything on this like Airbnb app. So they end up having to cohabitate, and the forced proximity in this is really, really good. Like, really good. And at first I was like, well, why doesn't she just give him back his money? But it's like, oh, I realize now. It's because she literally was broke. She did not have money to like give him back. So she's like, you know what, we're just gonna like ride it out. I'm gonna live here, he's gonna pay me, and it's gonna be what it is. So really love this story. It's very unique, but it felt like realistic. It's also one of those books that does touch on deeper topics, but not so much so where it like takes over the story. I feel like it was a great balance. And another book that I really loved is Baggage Claim. I read this book, I think 5 years ago. Like, I'm not even kidding. It's about this girl who's getting ready to go home to her hometown, and while she's on the way home, she is like on the airplane, and she's like, dang, I told my family I'm gonna have a boyfriend with me. I don't have a boyfriend, like what am I gonna do? She ends up finding out that there's a guy on the plane who's like, hey, I'll be your fake boyfriend while, you know, you're going to this hometown because I'm going to the same place. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Yeah, so then for the next 2 weeks, they have like all these Christmassy dates to make her family think that they are actually together. And I really love this one. Again, I read this literally 5 years ago, and the fact that I can even remember this story just shows how much I really loved it. I think that this has a new cover at this point, and I think there's also a book 2 to this as well. I also really loved A Novel Christmas. This is about a writer who didn't really know what she was going to write for her book. She's like just getting writer's block, and it's like the worst she's ever gotten it. She ends up meeting this firefighter who kind of sparks a little bit of like some kind of emotional connection within her that makes her like want to write again. And this book felt like a Hallmark just dream with a little bit of spice. And it was very cute. I also really loved The Christmas Wager. Now, this book is one of those books I've read literally 5 years ago, and I remember when I read it, I was thinking like this is one of my favorite like Christmas books that I read. If you like books where there are like holiday games and things like that, you'll really like this one. I actually read How My Neighbor Stole Christmas by Megan Quinn, and this is a book I did not enjoy. And I think part of it is because I read this book a while ago, and this gave me similar vibes to this, but one, this had less spice. Two, it was way shorter. I have said many times I do not think that Christmas books should be this thick. Like, this book is literally 464 pages. Like, the story itself wasn't bad. It's just like, come on, can we like wrap it up? And then this one was only 320, and it gave us very similar vibe. They have like a wager that they struck against each other, and they're gonna compete in the Maple Falls holiday games, which is the annual tradition, and you see them kind of vibe back and forth, and it's just cute. It gives Hallmark. This was my favorite holiday romance, I think, of 2 years ago. And again, the fact that I can even remember it is wild to me because I have a terrible memory, but for some reason these books are sticking out to me, and I think it's genuinely because I just enjoyed them. Now, I will say there is one book I don't really remember much of what happens, and it is this one. I do know that they fake dated in the story, and I do know it was a laugh out loud story, like I was actually laughing out loud. I think she was going home for the holidays and needed a boyfriend, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, she's like dreading going home. And it was one of those books that literally made me absolutely laugh out loud. So if you want like a laugh out loud comedy, pick this one up. Now, this is the second book in the series. I read the first book, and I personally think the second one was better. The first one, I don't know, I feel like Christmas books need to have like tropes and like, you know, cute little storyline. And this one felt like it had more of like a structure to it, and I really enjoyed that. And again, it was really funny, so I loved it. Some other books that I have are some books that are no spice, and I'll go through these. So this one right here, I don't remember exactly what this one's about. I do remember enjoying it, but I don't remember exactly what this one's about. It says 2 workplace rivals, 1 festive competition. Okay, now it's kind of coming back to me. They were rivals at work, and they had to compete for, I think, like decorating their door or something. Something like that. And I really like this because it was just a cutesy rom-com. I feel like I have to mix up rom-com-y type books with like the super heartfelt and deep books. Now this, I have not been saying the titles of these books, but I will link all the books below for you guys to pick up if you want. Hopefully you guys can read the titles and it's close enough, but this one's All's Fair in Love and Christmas. And then I also read The Holiday Switch by Tiff Marcello. This one was super cute. It's about a girl who ends up going to work at this bookshop. And I think she's doing it for like an internship or something like that. And she ends up accidentally switching phones with the owner's son. And she's like, I need to get my phone back. And I think they ended up going on some dates for some reason or another. And it was a really cute story. I really liked it. I think the thing that I liked the most was how they had secrets that were like not things they wanted to be shared because they switched phones and the other people found out about their secrets. I think that was enjoyable to read and kept me really invested. This one is a young adult book. Again, no spice, but it was very enjoyable, and I'm not someone who really gravitates towards young adult books. And then You Make It Feel Like Christmas by Toni Shiloh. This has no spice in it. And this is about a girl who is jobless and she's going home for the holidays. She is literally dragging her feet and not happy about it at all. And whenever she goes back, I think her brother's best friend, he attends their family Thanksgiving. And then she starts to wonder if maybe coming home for Christmas wasn't so bad at all. And this is actually a great book to read right now because it's like around the Thanksgiving time all the way until Christmas. And then after she, I think, starts to kind of have feelings for him, she is trying to, I think, help him save his late mother's Christmas shop. It was really cute. It felt like a Hallmark movie. Very, very enjoyable. I love Toni Shiloh's books, especially around Christmas. Another book by Toni Shiloh, which is again a no spice romance, is the book The Christmas Catch. This is about two high school sweethearts and they are reuniting. He's like an NFL player, or was, I think, and he's forced to return home to the hometown, and it's been years since they've even seen each other, and this is one of those books where they like lock eyes and it's like, oh my god, I remember you, it's been so long. And again, very Hallmarky, very cutesy, no spice, very enjoyable, had lots of like tension. This one was one where they touch on faith, which I really enjoyed. And I also really enjoyed Only for the Holidays by Abiola Bello. Now, this author has come out with a book called Love in a Winter Wonderland, which I really love that book as well, but I didn't add it into the stack because these are the books that I'm like obsessed with. Like, if you could only read a stack of Christmas books, these would be the ones that I'd say to read. So when there's two books by an author and I'm like, kind of like one was good, but like this one's way better, I just wanted to add this one instead. And I think the reason I like this one is because the main character in this, she's on a break with her boyfriend, and then she kind of starts to meet this other guy and have feelings for him, and he's like a country boy, and she asks him to take her to this dance because, again, she's on a break with her boyfriend, and she starts to see that maybe someone could treat me better than this other guy that I thought was like my whole world. I love that concept, especially for a young adult book, because I feel like when you're in high school, you just feel like the person you're with is literally your forever, when it's like there's a million people out there that you could be with. You're literally 14 or 15 or 16. Now, the books I didn't really care for are there's really only three of them. How My Neighbor Stole Christmas by Megan Quinn. I rated this one 2 stars, and it's genuinely because of the length. I feel like the spice was a lot, but I feel like if some of the spice had been taken out, this book could have been shorter and it would have been more enjoyable for me. I did buy her second book that she came out with in this series, and I wanted to read it because I genuinely might enjoy it. I do love a lot of her other romances. I just don't think I resonated with this one because, like, just the Christmas vibes, it's like, it's so long. Like, I'm just ready. I'm ready. Like, it was like so many pranks that they had, and like, I feel like there were just a lot of like challenges and stuff that they had. Like, I could have done with 2 of those and 2 pranks, and it would have been enough. But like, this whole book was like pranks after prank after prank. And I don't know, I feel like it just lost me a little bit in the story. It's kind of like books where it's about, you know, like someone who's going on an adventure or a mission. It's like the whole story is taken over by the mission versus like what the character is working through or going through or who they're meeting. It just kind of took over the story a bit. But I know a lot of people love this story, so, you know, go into it how you will. I also read 'Tis the Season for Revenge. Now, I read this book years ago, and it was before I was into spice. Like, I just wasn't really into books with spice, and it's not because I like didn't like it. I just didn't really understand why it was in there. Like, because I was only reading one type of book. Like, I literally would only read like Hallmarky books. When I first got back into reading, that's all I would read. And then like I was reading like Colleen Hoover's books, which obviously like have spice in them. So I just wasn't, like, my brain didn't compute with like putting the 2 stories together when it's like cutesy and it's spicy. To me, it should have been like heartfelt and spicy or cutesy and no spice. Like that just, for some reason, that's how my brain was just like thinking stories would go. It's like, if you're reading spice, it's like 50 Shades, which again, love that series. But I didn't think putting the two together made sense. This book definitely puts the two together. It's cutesy. It's about a girl who is with this guy who dumps her like at the beginning of Christmas, and I'm pretty sure she's trying to date this other guy because she wants to go to this gala where all these like famous people are. I think the thing that really threw me with this book was how much the girl was like a damsel in distress and was like, please save me, like I need a guy, like, you know, save me. Like I just didn't really care for that. I did enjoy the writing style. I feel like it was fun to read. Again, this one was one I rated 2 stars, but I could see myself liking this now, which is kind of funny because I never would have thought that if I rated something 2 stars like years ago that I'd love it now. But like, I think now I have a better idea of what I'm getting into when I read a book. Like sometimes I just want to read a book, no brain power. I want it to just be just like spicy, fun, and I know what I want when I want to pick up a book like this, and I don't think at the time I knew that this was a book like that. I think I thought this was like a cutesy, hallmarky read. It says, 'tis the season for revenge. I was like, oh, she's gonna like, you know, play some pranks on her ex-boyfriend or whatever. Like, no, this book was spicy. So I am going to read another book of hers, which is in this stack that I'm gonna show you guys in a second. And it's going to be a book that I feel like I will really enjoy because I will go into it with the perspective knowing it's going to be like very spicy, fun, funny type of book. Another book that I wouldn't say don't read, just go into it knowing that it's like kind of a whole lot of nothing, is The Christmas Tree Farm. And by a whole lot of nothing, I mean it's just like a I don't want to say brainless book, but like it's one of those books where you don't really have to think, which is not a bad thing. But I think looking at the cover of this, it's giving like, I'll be home for Christmas. Like, I don't know, I just felt like it would have a little bit more in the story because we're in Dream Harbor and it's like cozy, cutesy. And I feel like it was straight spice most of the book, which again, not a problem if I know I'm getting into that in the story. And this cover does not look like it's that at all. And so now going into more books by this author in the future, I will know, oh, okay, these books are going to be pretty much straight spice. So go into it when you're ready to read a super spicy read. Now there are a ton of books in this stack that are very spicy that I know I will love, and it's because I'm going into them knowing that I will love them because I will be in the mood to read like super spicy books at that time. These are all the books that are on my holiday TBR. I'm going to go through these quickly because I'm going to talk about a lot of these in depth whenever I do my video of like books I want to read next month. Resort to Romance by Casey Sophia. I actually wanted to read this book last year, but it didn't come out until January of this year, which to me is like, don't come out with a book with snowflakes on the front when it's like January, because like, yes, that is peak time to like get a like wintry book, but to me December is like when I want to read a lot of my Christmassy books. And then in January and February, I don't know, by February I'm reading like cutesy, like, you know, Valentine's Day books. And by March, I'm reading spring books. So it's just like coming out in January. It's like I have to read it in January or like I'm not reading it till the next year. So that's me this year. I'm reading it now. I also want to read The Christmas War Pause by Therese M. Clarke. This is a book, I'm hoping to read like half these books this month and then half the books next month. There are 20 books in this TBR, and honestly, I only had like 4 Christmas books I was planning on reading this year, and then all of a sudden I just kept buying and buying and buying, and I don't really want to like have a bunch left over next year. I want to finish them all, so we'll see if I get to them. But this one just looks cute. It's very short. It's like less than, or it's like right at 100 pages. Mistletoe Blues by Bella J. I know it's going to be spicy because she wrote 1201. Super spicy read, and I cannot wait to read it. I cannot wait to read it. I love 1201, so I feel like I'll really love this one as well. I also can't wait to read Christmas with Kris Kringle. This is about like a grumpy guy who hates Christmas and a girl who loves Christmas. And this author, I've read 2 of her books, Sight Unseen, and I've also read Love You a Little Bit. I'm looking over here because it's literally right on my shelf. And both of those books were like laugh out loud funny, so I feel like this is going to be one of those books as well. The book I want to read by Morgan Elizabeth is called If This Was a Movie. I have no idea what this book's about. There's literally nothing on the back. only Christmas things on the front and the back. That's it. So I have no idea what I'm even getting into, but what I do know is it's going to be spicy because I've read her books in the past, right? We talked about this. So I know I'm going to be reading something spicy, so I will read it when I'm in the mood for spice. A book that does not have any spice, that's written by a Black author, is Meet Me in December by Raquel Henry. This author has a plethora of cutesy Christmas romances. Also, all of her books are on Kindle Unlimited, so you can easily go pick them up or read them at your leisure. And they're all pretty short. This one is about 158 pages. And they're just super cutesy. I've never read anything by her, but she has Holiday on Park, Letter to Santa, Christmas in Cardwick, Meet Me in December, and so many more. So I feel like I will just be able to get all of my no spice Christmassy reads by picking up one of her books. And another book that I want to read is Love Me for Christmas by B-Love. I feel like this is going to be a very heartfelt read. Just because I feel like this author has a lot of heartfelt reads that they've written in the past. I also want to read Just a Pretty Face by J.S. Jasper. I've never read anything by J.S. Jasper, but this author has 2 Christmas books. And this one, of course, is the thickest, which is the one I picked up, but I kind of wish I had picked up the other one. But I've heard great things about this one, and the words are also really big, so I feel like I'll read it quick. Merry Christmas, You Filthy Animal by Megan Quinn. I'm excited to read this, but I am nervous because, again, it is very thick. Also, can we talk about sprayed edges? Because, guys, I'm actually over sprayed edges, like completely over them. And I don't know what it was that made me... Actually, I can tell you exactly what it was. It was seeing them all the time on every book. That's what did it for me. It's like these sprayed edges are, you know, have Christmas tinsel or whatever, and then they'll come out with like a new edition that have like just straight red all over the outside. You know, it's like you never can get away from the sprayed edges because even if you're not buying a special edition book, they'll be on there. And I kind of want them to feel special. Like I don't want to have them on every book unless I choose to have them on the book. But I'm excited to read this one. I do love Megan Quinn's writing. I know it's spicy. It's usually laugh out loud funny. I just honestly need to just get over the fact that this is going to be a thick book and know that going into it. And I think because this book isn't like set on them playing a bunch of games, I'll enjoy it more. It says nothing says I love you like trespassing, public humiliation, and a town-wide Christmas spectacle to win your crush back. So yeah, I don't really know what it's about, but it looks like there's gonna be like mishaps and stuff, and someone's new to town. There's holiday cheer, giving Christmas. I also really am excited to read Just a Taste by Anise Starr. I loved 1 Week in Paradise by Anise Starr. It was such a funny romance, and it also was super fast paced. This one is supposed to be like a slow burn with really good banter. I will say it's from the UK. This book is stiff as a board. Like it has not even come out in the States. I ordered it from the UK to be sent here. Stiff as a board, but I'm super excited to read it, and I wanted to get it this year because I do love her writing. Her writing is so fun, and those are the types of books that I look for around the holiday season. I also want to read Guess Who's Coming for Christmas. This is a spicy read, obviously, as you guys can see from the cover, and I wanted to add some of those into my stack because if I get too many cutesy books, I'm just gonna be like cutesied out. So I have another cutesy book, which is Gnome One Like You. This is by Toby Carter. I've never read anything by this author, and I feel like Christmas is the perfect time to read books by authors that I've never heard of before. I've never really read books from. I also want to read Promise to the Snowman by Cami. This book is only 100 pages, and it's something that is... It's by a book that I've read from before. I've read Safer for Me by Cami, but I've never read like a short read like this from the author. I did enjoy her writing when I read Safer for Me, so I feel like I'll enjoy this as well. And also the cover is stunning, like absolutely beautiful. A book that I didn't get to last year, but I really wanted to, is The Plight Before Christmas by Kate Stewart. This is a romantic comedy, and it's supposed to be like a laugh out loud funny book. That's all I need to hear. I feel like I love having a plethora of books to choose from, like when I'm in a mood to laugh, when I'm in a mood for spicy books, when I'm in a mood to cry. I can just like pick from these different types of books and always have something to read. And I've heard nothing but good things about this, so I can't wait to pick it up. And I also want to read 8 Dates of Christmas by Riel Knight. Don't know too much about this book. Never read anything by Riel Knight, but it looks like a great book. And again, I will go in depth into these books a little bit more whenever I am giving my like books that I want to read next month. I want to read Effing Under the Mistletoe by Brianna Deney because I love her writing. I read Keep You to Myself by her. It was very enjoyable, and this is a really short book, so I feel like I'll finish it quick. It's only 75 pages, and I also read Spin About You, which is a Thanksgiving read that I think I will really enjoy as well. Or you will really enjoy as well if you pick it up, but I think I will enjoy this as well because I read Spin About You. And I am probably going to read this as one of my first Christmassy reads because I loved the series by Desiree called Perfect Sister. I read book 1 and 2 back to back, and I rated book 1 5 stars. This is called Saint and the Queen, and it's like a play on Santa Claus. I'm pretty sure that someone ends up turning into Santa Claus or something. It's like a magically type of romance, and I just can't wait to read it. So it is supposed to be like funny, and it's supposed to be like a unique storyline. I also really want to read Grace and Henry's Holiday Movie Marathon. I'm pretty sure this also has no spice. This is a book, I can't say for sure it doesn't have any spice, but I don't think it does. I feel like I saw on Instagram when someone made like a little like list of books, I think they put this one on there and it said like no spice. But don't quote me on that because I genuinely do not know other than what I saw in that post. So like it could have no spice, but it also could. So again, don't quote me on that. This is a romance where I'm pretty sure both characters are going through grief. I'm pretty sure they are being match made together because I think both of their spouses passed away, and then they both have a holiday movie marathon day where they just like watch Christmas movies all day, and I think they start to have feelings for each other. And it says Grace and Henry's shared grief eases as they start to see a life beyond the sadness. Again, I feel like there are a few holiday books where I read about people who are navigating the holiday season and it's just like hard because you don't read that often. And maybe it's because it's like, oh, what a buzzkill. Like, you know, no one wants to be like sad, but it's like a true story, you know, like people actually are having a hard time around the holidays. I feel like the holidays are some of the hardest times. And I love that this story kind of touches on that. So again, Grace and Henry's Holiday Movie Marathon. I also want to read Feast by Tanzania Glover. This is just a book that I know is going to be pure spice, and I'm not mad about it. The words are actually huge, like literally huge, huge. They almost look like elementary huge, but I've read one book by this author and really enjoyed it, and this is a really, really short book. It's like 160 pages, but I feel like it's even half of that because the words are so big, so I feel like I'll finish it really fast. And I also want to read Santa's Little Pleasers by Lady Nisha. Lady Nisha is one of the authors that I think is the funniest authors I've ever read. Like if I had to pick one author to give to someone and like someone was like, hey, I need something that's funny, like I need to laugh, like I don't want to get something that like is kind of funny, I need to like actually laugh out loud, I would pick a book by Lady Nisha. I would probably pick Losing Control, but this is the Santa version of something written by Lady Nisha. It's called Santa's Little Pleasers. It's spicy. I know that going into it, and I cannot wait to pick it up. So those are the 20 books that I want to read. Also, all of the books that I think you guys will really love. Truly, if you're someone who doesn't really like Christmas books, I feel like you'll still like some of these. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And comment below if you guys want me to do a longer book miss, or if you guys want me to do a book miss where there's like a video every single day. I left like a little bit of a comment on the last video that I did, and I was asking what you guys thought. I'm leaning more towards doing book miss where I have videos on Tuesdays and on Saturdays, 2 days a week like I normally do, but just making the videos a lot longer. You guys love my 2 hour, 3 hour, an hour and a half long vlogs. Like you love those, and I love making those too. And I feel like it will allow me to have the holiday season be what it should be and just enjoy it with family while still bringing you guys along, because again, the hardest part of bookmas isn't necessarily even the vlogging, because I do vlog every day. It's just the editing part and the thumbnails and the links and tagging and things. So I feel like that's the best of both worlds. But let me know if you guys would want to see the longer videos 2 days a week, which is my preference, or if you guys would prefer to see more of like the traditional bookmas where you get a video every single day and it's like 30 minutes or 40 minutes or 20 minutes or whatever. Let me know your thoughts. I've done bookmas for the past, I'm pretty sure, 6 years. Last year was the first year where I did 12 days instead of 24 days, and it was actually so nice. And this this year it's made me think, like, why am I taking away from family and friends during the holiday season to add on additional work when it's like the busiest time of year, when I could just continue to do what I love and just yap a little bit longer and make the videos a little bit longer so that you guys are able to watch videos just kind of at your leisure. And I'm also able to enjoy time with like family and friends. So let me know what you guys think. I'm leaning more towards that, but again, I just want to know your thoughts. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.